One of the easiest and most effective ways of scaling a dropshipping store is by hiring a virtual assistant, or VA. VAs can take over the monotonous tasks that must be done, but take up a lot of your time. For example, fulfilling orders, providing customer service, or updating product listings. They free you up to focus on the tasks that really matter to your company's growth, such as marketing and negotiating with suppliers. But of course, not all VAs are worthwhile, so how do you pick out the rotten eggs and find a really awesome VA? Well, I got a few steps for you. Here you go. Step 1. Create a list of tasks you can outsource. Before you even start looking for a virtual helper, you need to figure out what they can take off your plate and what they can't. A potential list might look like this. Once you have the list, start by creating a video or document outlining the process for each. This is something you can hand to a potential VA so they can understand the processes. Step 2. Advertise the role. There are tons of platforms out there where you can find freelancers and VAs. Here are some of the more popular ones you can look into. Freelancer. Post your job and get bids from freelancers. Zirtual. Find strictly US-based freelancers. Upwork. Post a job and browse profiles of tons of freelancers around the world with wide skill sets. I've personally been using Upwork for 2 years, and I'm a big fan. Now, before you post your job, though, you need a job description. That's where one of those documents that you wrote up would come in handy. When it comes to a job description, be sure to include these things. A detailed list of tasks to be completed. A list of the software and tools they'll be using, such as Google Drive or email, or any social media management tools or live chat features on your website. How many hours a week, as well as specific times you need them to work. Here's a template you could take for your ad. I'll put the link in the description below. All right, step 3. Review the applicants. You want to pay special attention to the candidates with great communication skills. The ones with bad communication skills will be obvious. They'll have horrible grammar and spelling. First of all, look for their response to your request. In the case I showed you earlier, what their favorite hobby was. That's what I asked them. Now, if they don't answer that request, chances are that they didn't even read the whole job description. And in this case, you can just delete any of the applicants who did not do this vital step. And when you're reviewing applicants, only consider those who you could work with for a long time. Think about that when you're interviewing them. You're going to be investing a lot of time and money in this person, so you want to make sure that you're not going to be wasting either. Try to narrow that list down to about 2 to 4 people. Once you have that down, continue to the next step. And that is step 4. Interview your candidates. My personal belief is to never hire somebody without actually speaking to them first. This can be done in 15 minutes over a video chat software. This helps in several ways. You weed out candidates who don't truly have fluency in English. You discover a bit about their punctuality, which can say a lot about their character. You learn a bit more about the person and get a better feel if they're a good fit. Here are some important questions to ask when you're in an interview. I'll put a link down below where you can read more about why these are important. Have you done such and such for an e-commerce store before? What are your career goals? What do you do in your free time? What are your strengths? Step 5. Give the top candidate a test run. Before fully committing to a virtual assistant, it's a good idea to give them some trial tasks to see how they run. Remember, you want to make a long-term commitment for best results, so hire slowly. Don't rush into picking a person just so you can check it off your list. Take time to know them, learn about what they want, their aspirations, their work ethic. During this trial period, be sure to communicate to your potential VA that you're hiring them on a trial basis. You don't want them to think that they have the job only to hear, "Sorry, I don't think this is going to work," from you. That would not be good for anybody to hear. It's just better to communicate to them that they're on a trial period. Give them a task or a set of tasks to complete by a certain date. Samples of trial tasks could be write a blog post, answering a customer complaint email. Be sure that you review this before it's sent. Schedule this week's social media post. When you're reviewing their work, the most important things to look for are thoroughness, a willingness to learn, and handing things in on or before the due date. Over-communicating is better than under-communicating, especially in the beginning stages. Be sure that they know exactly what's expected of them and that they can come to you with any questions they have. If they fail to meet the deadlines or don't do good work, go back and review more candidates. Step 6, train your virtual assistant. Once you've chosen somebody for the job and they've passed all your tests, be sure to bring them up to speed. The easiest way to train a VA is through videos. You can create screen capture videos for free using a tool like Camtasia or Cam Studio and Screencast. These videos make it easy for them to learn the material, plus it gives them something to refer back to if they forget a step. You can also share your screen with someone live using tools like Free Conference Call, Google Hangouts, or Join.me if you need to work through things with them one-on-one. Once they're trained and working like a well-oiled machine, be sure to keep the relationship strong by giving them feedback and giving them compliments on a job well done. Even little comments like, "Wow, you did an amazing job on that newsletter. It looks really good," will make a world of a difference, and that'll increase their willingness to work and how hard they'll work for you. So now that you know more about hiring a virtual VA, let's move on. Let's talk about going multi-channel and building a website. By selling across multiple channels like Amazon, eBay, Jet, and your own website, you have access to a larger audience and a potential for more sales. Now, the biggest problem with selling across multiple channels is handling inventory. You may get an order on 2 sites when the supplier only has 1 in stock, forcing you to cancel an order and making the customer wait until the item is back in stock. It can also be difficult and time-consuming to list your products on every site, especially if you have a lot of products. Now, I'm not telling you these things so you don't do it. I'm just letting you know the expectation. While expanding to a multi-channel business has the potential to highly increase your sales, it can also be a lot of extra work if you aren't strategic about it. However, here are 2 things you can do to make this process easier. Hiring a virtual assistant to assist you in that process, which we talked about earlier. And number 2, use inventory management software such as ChannelApe to automate the process of updating listings, adding them to multiple channels, and tracking inventory. Now let's talk about something really important: building your online store. Having your own store is the key to growth and scalability. Building traffic and an engaged email list will give you an asset that you can eventually sell. It'll also bring you more profits, fewer fees, and infinitely more control over the user experience. Of course, building an online store is more than just uploading your products to a marketplace. However, with tools like SaleHoo's Online Store Builder or Shopify, building a store can be as easy as choosing a template and adding your products. If you're ready to invest in building a website for your dropshipping business, check out this very in-depth guide by e-commerce platforms. All right, so we're nearing the end of the video here, but real quick, I want to talk about increasing your marketing spend. When it comes to scaling a business, this is probably the first thing you thought of. However, I put it at the end for a reason. Spending more money on advertising isn't always a good strategy. It can be a huge money sink if you don't do it right. To avoid that, here's a few tips. Buying pay-per-click or PPC ads. PPC ads like Google AdWords or Facebook, just to name a few, have long been a great way to get traffic to your site. However, they're not the easiest platforms to learn. You can spend a lot of money on buying the wrong PPC traffic, which just doesn't convert. If you're serious about scaling your dropshipping store via PPC, I would recommend hiring a PPC manager or following a guide. I'm going to go ahead and put some links below for guides for each of the major PPC platforms. You can also use a tool such as Outbrain or Taboola to display your ads on relevant content. Finally, if you're really savvy, you can find website owners that have content on their sites that's similar to your niche. And then you just pay them to display your products. If that tickles your fancy, just try this. Brainstorm a few websites to advertise on. If you have competitors, type their websites into SimilarWeb to see where they're advertising. Contact the website owners to inquire about advertising. Others may have never done it before. Create a banner design using a tool like Canva. Link the banner to your product landing page. Keep track of which traffic came from which ad using Google UTM parameters. Voila, you now have website ads. All right, you have come a long way if you've been following this whole guide. You learned how to find a product and a supplier, how to open and run your store, and now how to scale it so you can make more money with less effort. Scaling a store is really all about finding ways to be more efficient. Spending money more efficiently, using your time more efficiently, or improving your store's processes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to get notifications on our future uploads, hit the little bell icon. I hope that you've learned a lot and are prepared to start your dropshipping adventure. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us. This is Stuart from SaleHoo signing off. Good luck on your journey.